Focused and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of Thursday, May 9, 2019. I'm Riza Diaz. Let's jumpstart today's rush with Malacañang presenting 4 new diagrams showing a wider matrix which is allegedly involving 4 opposition personalities in a bigger conspiracy to discredit President Rodrigo Duterte. Maricel Halili has the details.
Malacañang claims that members of the Liberal Party and the Magdalug Group are conspiring to oust President Rodrigo Duterte. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo presented 4 new diagrams, which he says are also connected to the matrix involving Bikoy and some media organizations made public last April 22.
It is obvious that these groups have linked together to discredit the Duterte administration and to boost the candidacies of the Hotshots senatorial candidates.
Based on the diagrams, Liberal Party senatorial candidates Bam Aquino and Ma Rojas with Senator Antonio Trillanes and former PCSO official Margarita Wico are part of the ouster plot. Panelo says these personalities are part of the Yellow Ribbon movement, which is allegedly connected to Jerry May Maghinay, the owner of the Now You Know Facebook page, who uploaded a video of former police officer Eduardo Asierto. But what caught the attention of Malacañang, Panelo said, was the similar office address of the organizations.
Bakit naman para-pareho opisina nila eh? When that was investigated, it's only a 40 square meter room. Alam nga, in other words, it's impossible na may mga cubicle doon tapos itong mga ito naka-opisina doon. Isa lang ang ginagamit talaga nila.
Also included in the diagrams are 8 Derecho senatorial candidates Pilo Hilbay and Gary Alejano, and former presidential spokesperson Edwin Lasherda. Communist Party founder Jose Maria Sison was also mentioned in the new matrix, as well as a certain Fillmore rule, allegedly one of the security details of Senator Trillanes. Panelo says rule is designated to protect Rodel Jaime, the developer of the website that uploaded the Bikoy videos. Panelo also named Bong Banal as the voice of the narrator in the said videos, emphasizing the big difference in the voice of Bikoy in the videos and that of Jomel Advincula, the man who claims he is Bikoy.
Isang Chinese businesswoman at franchise owner ng isang multi-level marketing company.
Siguro kasama yon sa kanilang setup para, yun nga, tama ka doon. Magulo. Hindi naman pala si Bikoy yan. Iba naman pala.
Yun yung ibig ko sabihin.
Pero the fact is, talagang all of them are part of the conspiracy.
Malacañang says it is leaving it to the Department of Justice to decide what charges to file against the individuals involved in the alleged ouster plot. Panelo, however, did not give details about the source of the diagrams. For News 5, Maricel Halili, we are One News.
Yesterday's release of a yet bigger spider web of names allegedly connected to the ouster plot against the president has spurred a flurry of reactions from those tagged. Some were serious, while some just laughed it off. The NUJP called Malacañang's new matrix an adulterated piece of crap that's meant to scare the administration enemies but failed in doing so. For the Liberal Party camp, who has been tagged numerous times in the past year to destabilization claims and ouster plots, says they were made to look as a target. And this is to cover up the administration's failure, they say, to put a stop to the drug activities in the country. Celebrity host and athlete Gretchen Ho was also tagged in the matrix, says she doesn't know any Rodel Jaime, nor she has shared any links of the Bikoy narco videos. Gretchen went on to talk about it on Twitter with another name in the matrix, Heidelin Diaz. Now in her own account, the weightlifting Olympic medalist says she was just shocked by the ouster link, but then again says she's just focusing on her return to the Olympics in Tokyo 2020. But aside from the low-key ouster plot, President Duterte says he is also facing a huge smear campaign from the opposition. Jen Calimon has the story.
For the first time this election season, President Duterte campaigned alone in an election rally in Bohol. Surprisingly, he's endorsing former Cabinet Secretary Jun Evasco instead of the PDP Laban candidate Arthur Yap in the gubernatorial race in Bohol. The chief executive explains there's a reason for him choosing Evasco over Yap.
So niya ako, kay una, utang kabubuto na ako, dako kayo. Kaduha, angay gid siya. He has been with me day one sa akong pagka-mayor. Dili pa gani, I started as a Vice Mayor OIC. Itong panahon na nagkaila-ila mi, I'll let him tell the whole story. But nagila-ila mi 88, uban mi hantod karon.
Evasco is running under the hugpong ng Pagbabago Party, led by presidential daughter and Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte. This isn't the first time that Rodrigo and Sara supported different candidates, just like Estrada and Zamora in San Juan, who came from hugpong and PDP Laban respectively. Meanwhile, the president also didn't miss the chance to take a swing at the opposition. The country's top official cited intel reports, leading him to believe that Ocho Derecho candidates are spreading black propaganda against him. He says this is also the reason why the new ouster plot matrix was released on Tuesday. And here's a biggie. Duterte says he actually knows the mind behind the Bikoy personality, and it's not Peter Advincula.
Sundalo to. Magdalo yun. Magdalong production to.
Despite Bikoy involving the president's younger daughter Kitty Duterte, the president remains nonchalant about the issue.
Padala sila itong ilang mga black propaganda sa akong anak. Well, I'm not interested to file case.
Therefore, his advice for Monday's elections is
Propaganda sa pang matao, mutino, mutuor man na ng Ocho Derecho, diretso mo sa impyerno, apil ka na ng nibuto, bahala mo. Pero wala gina, tanawa mo daw, hugaw kayo. Hugaw yun kayo.
Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, we are One News.
Here are some of the day's biggest stories. Before the buzz on Malacañang's newest ouster matrix, several celebrities attended a dinner party hosted by President Duterte and his partner Hanilet Avancenia. Most of the stars who were present have already been a Duterte supporter since his presidential campaign in 2016. Some, meanwhile, have been spotted in campaign sorties for the administration-backed candidates. But what many found confusing was athlete and TV host Gretchen Ho's presence in that event, especially after she was tagged as one of the personalities in the new matrix. Preparations for the May 13 midterm elections are in full swing, and that's not just for the poll body, but for organizations looking to keep the polls fair and credible. 100 computers are now ready to process election data at the command center of the PPCRV. Meanwhile, Meralco assured there will be no power interruptions from the day of the election until the canvassing of votes. But in case of a failure, a contingency plan is also set in place. And finally, the COMELEC formed the Task Force Contra Bigay against vote buying and vote selling in partnership with the PNP, NBI, DILG, and IBP. The COMELEC warned the vote buying and vote selling are criminal offenses under the Omnibus Election Code. Authorities have also received reports of vote buying in Caraga and ARMM.
Grabe din yung report ng vote buying ng barangay election. And now, ito na naman, nagsisimula na naman. Ang napansin kasi namin, we have been receiving a lot of reports and yet wala tayong malinaw na protocol on how to go about it. So, it was a very good development when the COMELEC created this task force kasi at least matutugunan na natin yung mga pangangailangan yung ating mga kababayan. Wala na rin masyadong ibang dayaan sa ibang aspeto ng ating electoral system. Yung vote counting machines ng COMELEC have been proven to be tamper-proof. No? Wala nang iba eh. So the politicians have now resorted to vote buying as the only way to rig the system.
And true enough, a series of vote buying cases have been reported in the past week. In Quezon Province, police arrested a man in Tagkawayan for handing out sample ballots with 500 peso bills stapled. Authorities say this was in support of mayoral candidate Roberto De Vero in his political state. Now in Batangas, Vice Mayor Antonio de Mayuga and 6 others are facing vote-buying charges after residents reported being personally bribed by the officials. And a petition for disqualification, meanwhile, has been filed against Cavite gubernatorial candidate John Vic Remulla for allegedly buying votes. The Integrated Bar of the Philippines has rejected Peter Advincula's request for free legal assistance. Marian Enriquez will tell us why.
The Integrated Bar of the Philippines has declined the request of Peter Advincula alias Bikoy for free legal assistance. Aside from the case not meeting their standards, IBP said they are also suspicious of the timing.
This is an election period, remember? So I'm sure they evaluated, how long have you known about these things, why only now? Because that will also show perhaps motives and objectives. IBP as an institution cannot be perceived to be political. We are very strict about that.
Advincula said in a press conference in IBP's headquarters that he is the hooded figure Bikoy, who has implicated President Duterte's inner circle to the illegal drug trade. But IBP said Advincula did not qualify as someone who can't afford a lawyer, a key requirement for them to accept the case. Advincula wanted to file charges against the president's son Paulo Duterte and senatorial candidate Bongo for alleged involvement in the drug syndicate. But the IBP said they also found the merits of Advincula's case lacking.
Everyone has to qualify also. Everyone has to comply with the minimum requirements. If you don't, it doesn't matter to us who you are.
Cayoso also maintained the IBP had no hand in Advincula holding a press con at their auditorium. They are now investigating their employees on how the press con happened in their facility. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Here are the biggest stories from the dailies. Following the IBP's rejection of Advincula, the Senate has decided to cancel its scheduled hearing about his allegations against members of the First Family. Senate President Tito Soto said he hit the brakes on the planned inquiry because he said the stories presented by Advincula were just plain unbelievable. Soto confirmed that Advincula had already communicated with his office way back in 2016 when he also tagged former President Noynoy Aquino and former Cabinet Secretaries Mar Rojas and Laila de Lima as drug patrons. Still on Bikoy, PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde says Peter Advincula is a liar who sells information to the highest bidder. That's after the police conducted a background check on Advincula and found out that he had been feeding false information to 2 intelligence agencies of the government. Advincula also claimed to be part of a drug syndicate back when he was detained in the National Bilibid prison. But despite this, the country's top cop said that they can't arrest Advincula just yet because no formal charges have been filed against him. Rice production in the first quarter fell 4.5% from a year ago. The crop sector, which has 53% share in total agricultural production, fell by 1%. Prices received by farmers also continued its slide as it decreased 3.8%. Checking now on the weather forecast from Pag-asa. From 3 low-pressure areas earlier this week, the Weather Bureau is now monitoring just 1. The remaining LPA east of Mindanao is still currently outside the Philippine area of responsibility and is still expected or not expected to strengthen into a storm. Still, the frontal system may bring cloudy skies and scattered rain showers to some parts of northern Luzon. With that, this day is expected to be cooler than yesterday, which we saw Catanduanes in Virac struggling with a heat index of 52.2 degrees Celsius. Fast break now to Sports Rush. The series is now tied. It was a heyday for San Miguel's snipers who found wide-open baskets and defensive stops to convincingly close game number 4 at 114-98. The Hotshots couldn't handle Junmar Fajardo, who proved his worth as best player of the conference with a 31-point and 14-rebound outing. Now to seal the deal, the Beermen also limited Magnolia's Paul Lee to just 7 points. And there's a new kid on the block for the PSL. The Marinerang Pilipina is set to debut on the All-Filipino Conference next month. champion head coach Villet Ponce de Leon said that her team might be new to the league, but she is positive that it's possible to take down powerhouse teams like F2 and Petron. Their advantage, as well as they say, is iba yung matangkad. Seasoned middle blocker Ivy Remulla will serve as Marineras Capitana. Joining her will be UAAP standouts Judith Abil and Seth Rodriguez. And that's how the day is shaping up to be this Thursday, May 9, 2019. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.